Exactly.
Troy, you've had a really good career, and there's a pinnacle coming.
There is, yes. Qualifying for the Olympics.
Yeah. But this is what people dream about, don't they? As an amateur boxer, the Olympics is the big goal.
It is. It's funny because when I first got into the sport, that wasn't anything that was ever on my list, because I didn't know where it was going to take me. But as you start working your way up and ticking off goals that you've made, all of a sudden the last one to do is Olympics.
Well, tell us a wee bit about that start and what motivated you to get into the sport in the first place, and what was the first steps that you took?
Yes, so I used to work, well I still do because I teach classes there, but at Les Bill's Auckland City Gym. And back then I used to work on reception, and we used to get Mark Michaels owned ringside boxing that was there. And he used to let us come along to his corporate fight nights, and I'd go to have a few drinks, as you do in your early 20s. And I always used to be like, why would anyone want to box? Like, get hit in the face, that just, that sings out as wrong to me. And so I didn't really pay much attention to it. And then I got, I went on to be reception manager, and one day I looked at Mark, so I was sitting next to him up in the office, and I looked at his training, this 12-week training program for his next corporate event. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get so skinny. Like that was literally my thinking as naive young 20-year-old. And so I said to him, I want to do it. And he's like, well, have you ever boxed before? I was like, no. And so that's when I met Terry, because Terry was working there too. And Terry was like, come along, box, see how you like it, And so went along, was boxing. I was like, I actually quite enjoy this. And then I said, then unfortunately, one of the PTs at our gym passed away suddenly. And they said to me, look, instead of raising money for a charity, why don't you raise money for his family? Because he had a young family, 3 children and a partner. And I was like, actually, that gives me more of a reason to get in the ring. Because I'd always said to me, if you do the training, do the 12 weeks, if you don't want to hop in the ring, that's also fine. And I was like, now I have to do this fight. So got in the ring, loved it, and just carried on training. So that's when Terry would put me in for corporate fights. And then eventually, after a year and a half or 2 years, he said to me, Troy, we need to turn you amateur because I think you should be fighting for some New Zealand titles, make your next goal to win nationals. So I went on doing that. I ticked that off 5 times. And so then it was like Commonwealth Games, then it's now Olympics. So that's my long story, complete.
It's a good story, and it's one that's probably been replicated, not to the heights that you've got to, but by people not really thinking that they can do it, but they can.
Exactly. I guess it just shows sometimes when you just sometimes doors open and you fall into things. You could be looking at what you're going to do. I mean, if you'd asked me in my early 20s if I'd ever be a boxer, I'm sure people at high school are just like, what the heck? She used to run away when we wanted to give her a hiding. But, it's just, sometimes doors open and you experience new experiences and you go, oh, actually, this is great.
And boxing's been good back to you too, because we were talking off camera about some of the places you've been.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's what I love with the amateur boxing is as a team we go off. Tournaments are in different countries that I never would have thought I'd go to. The last Olympic qualifying event I went to was in Jordan. Never thought I'd go to Jordan, so Yeah.
Name some of the other places you've been.
Australia a few times, naturally. We've had Italy I've been to before, a couple of times. Jordan, Thailand many a times. I'm sure there's a few more. I just can't, off the top of my head, I can't quite think of them. Sorry.
And tell us a little bit about this one, because this is a qualifying, but you fight before that too. Yeah,
so I leave on Friday, and next Monday is, so we fly into Bosnia, and and the tournament starts straight away. I think that's for 5 or 6 days. Then we stay on and do a camp there, so that gives us an opportunity to work on some of the things. We get to be in, we've been in the ring, you know, take away our workings, and then from there, after a 2-week camp there, we head to Milan for the world qualifying event.
In Slovakia, what is it? Is it like a knockout tournament?
Yeah. I don't know, it'd probably be 3 or 4 fights to gold there. I'd say the world qualifiers will be 4 or 5 fights to gold.
And how many fights have you had in your career so far?
I think I am sitting on about 57. Yeah.
Not bad for a girl that didn't want to get hit in the face.
Exactly. I still don't like to get hit in the face. What I do, I'm like, oh, no, use my self-control. Right, how am I going to get that girl back?
Tell us a little bit about the camp that you've been doing now, and also when you're in the New Zealand camp and that downtime.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing is with Terry, and Taff I think would say the same, we're always just training. And we're always just training so that just in case something, you know, like, so, you know, I didn't think I was going to be going to these world qualifiers. I thought I'd be doing the second ones. And when I got the phone call a month ago, it was like, oh, well, thank goodness I'm still been training. And I'll just up the intensity now. And now we've got a, you know, where we can get out me to peak, pull back, and then, yeah. So we've been training with Terry anyway. And then, of course, the last 2 weekends I've had a New Zealand camp. So then we've gone for, you know, 3 sessions a day. Give the baby to my husband so I can just focus on training. So yeah. And
is this going to be the end of an era, or is this just maybe a professional career after the Olympics?
I will say that if or when, it's all about wording, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
When I qualify for the Olympics is my, you know, I can tick that off my list. I've done all I wanted to do in amateur boxing. So, yeah, I'm going to tick off. I truly believe I'll be ticking off that Olympics as the last goal of mine on my list. And then after that, who knows? I don't think I'll ever stop fighting though.
No,
you can't. It's kind of like there. It's like, you know, the training's amazing too. You know, I say to people, I've never been so fit in my life. Of course, the fitness is different and it's for my sport, but yeah, it's a different type of fitness.
Hey, we wish you all the best over there.
Thank you.
You've been a delight to talk to, and wish you all the best, and I know you'll do New Zealand proud.
That's all I want, to do New Zealand proud.
Good girl.
Thank you.